Hey everybody, this is Elle Nagy from the Unapologetic Woman Empowerment Dynasty, and you're listening to the Unapologetic Woman Podcast, the show for women who choose to live their legacies unleashed, unlimited, and unapologetic. If this is a space you're curious about, visit unapologetic-woman.com. Today we're talking about embracing power, pleasure, and unapologetic living with Diane Woodford. Diane is a One Love ambassador, spreading love in action wherever she goes. A published author, she's also the co-host of the Love Drops podcast. Diane has a passion for empowering women to leap out of their comfort zones. She is a wife, mother, and nana of 6 amazing grandkids. Thanks for joining us. This is Diane. I stopped caring. I had to stop caring because at the end of the day, I'm like, if you want to judge me for the lights or for the backgrounds or for what I'm dressed, then you want to judge me. Like,
That's right.
find your reason to judge me. We all judge. Like, let's not be hypocritical. But if you want to not receive me because you would prefer to judge me, then I would prefer not to be received by you.
Absolutely. 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 And the only power that a judgment has is the power that you give it, because a person can come at you with whatever they want to bring. But if I don't receive it, then guess what? Boing, it bounces off, it hits the ground, and I'm still walking.
Yeah. I think that we've given judgment too much power. Judgment only has power over the person who judges unless we choose to tell a story that their judgment impacts us, which has been the story of humanity for a really long time.
Yes.
And when you get to the other side and you take full responsibility for yourself, your life, your happiness, and your well-being, it's a little bit of a pill to swallow in the beginning. It's a little bit of an enema in the first instance. But after that, life flows so much more beautifully because you allow people to have their experience of you, and you don't have to create your experience around that.
Absolutely. That's
All
good.
societal issues right now can be resolved if people would get this one nugget. And so let us start the podcast with that nugget in it. Diane,
Let's go.
my darling, my friend, so excited to be chatting to you today. You are one of those women where in our very first conversation, it was like our minds were linked. And we just saw all the synchronicities in the most beautiful, powerful way. And allowing ourselves to let that flow through us has been great. I don't know about you, but I'm having so much fun. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. And I definitely concur with everything that you've said. I mean, it's almost eerie because we've been saying things, exact same statements, and you're there and I'm here. And when we talk, it's like I was just thinking that or just saying that. So I think that there's definitely something synchronistic here, and I am excited to explore it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the question of all questions that I start with all my guests, because it
Okay.
always takes us to an interesting place. What does it mean to you to be an unapologetic woman?
All right. All right. So, what it means to me to be an unapologetic woman is to own the power to stop explaining, to own the power to just live in my truth, in my authentic self, and be all right if others find it weird, strange, or whatever. Just own the power to not explain what I'm doing. Well, why did you do this or why did you do that? I've spent so much of my life trying to just let's just keep it real. People please, because you just feel like to be that balance, you want to please people, be it your family, be it your friends, be it, coworkers, be it a stranger, right? And at a particular time in my journey, about, I'd say a good 10, 12 years ago, I just got to the point where I saw you're not going to make everybody happy all the time. So you be happy. You do what gives you peace. And that L was a journey. It didn't just happen overnight. But I can tell you right now, I can do a thing. And you say, well, why did you do that? Because it felt good to me, because that's what I wanted to do. And that's it.
Oh, so many places to go to from there. And two things that I want to highlight is one, I don't even think it's that we can't please everybody all of the time. I think it's we can't please anybody all of the time.
Ah.
And it's about recognizing that when we try and please somebody all of the time, we do not allow for our authentic selves in our expansion, our evolution, and the enjoyment of diverse mindedness, diverse valuedness, diversity in and of itself. And when we find unconditional love, we no longer require somebody to like us all the time, because the love is the bond. And sometimes we like what people say who we love, and sometimes we don't like what they say or what they do. So I think that's a really important evolution for women to start understanding. You can please nobody all of the time. And when you start operating, when you start resonating from unconditional love, you become all right with that. And in fact, you enjoy the diverse mindedness of yourself and the people that you love. So that was the one thing that I wanted to highlight. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is when you say, I no longer explain why I did something. I've come to the understanding that I no longer explain what I'm doing. So when people ask me, what do you do? And I start saying, well, I'm a self-leadership artist. They go, I don't understand. You need to explain that so that I can understand. And I know immediately they're not my people to try and make them understand, because if they can't feel me and kind of go, self-leadership artist, yes, that feels yummy, and resonate with it immediately, the more we try and explain to people, the less they understand, and the further away from our truth we have to move, the further away from our frequency we have to move. And so that is something that I think is really important for us as unapologetic women who have been on a journey, who have arrived in a space of being unapologetic women, resonating from divine love, is that we can love everybody, and those who are on the same frequency as us get us without us having to explain. And when we start going to explanation, we already removing ourselves from the playing field.
Absolutely.
So I do want to ask you, because one of the things that there's a thread is that it's interesting for me when I ask the question, what does it mean for you to be an unapologetic woman? I can hear the difference between the women who are answering from their heads and the women who are answering from their bodies, the embodiment of an unapologetic woman. It's been my experience that embodiment comes from life, from living, from living with presence and deciding that there's wisdom to be retrieved in everything that happens for us. And not everything was roses and rainbows necessarily that brought us to the point of going, all right, I'm done. This is now who I choose to be unapologetically.
Yes.
Would you love to share a little bit of the journey that really for you landed in becoming the woman that is before me today?
Absolutely. I would love to share that. So I'd say about 9 years ago, in a very comfortable, cushy position and just place, I had a calling to come out and just go. I'm going to go to Paris, France, and I'm going to write a book, right? And so I'm talking with my husband, and he's retired already. I'm a college professor in California. Um, just comfortable, love where I live, love where I work, all is well, right? So we decided we're going to answer that call. And in doing so, everybody, including my mom, my sisters, a lot of my close friends, were like, what the what? What are you guys doing? Oh my God, they have lost their minds. My mom is like, oh, you're going to live in a car. Oh, what are you doing? You better think about it. And we just went on. In the beginning, we tried to explain, but here's the thing: when you have a calling that's bigger than yourself, you don't fully understand it yourself. So when you don't fully understand something, how do you explain that where someone else can get it, where you're just trying to just flow with it yourself, right? So the more we try to explain it, the crazier we appear. Okay, so fast forward. This is 9 years later. We're still journeying to France. The books have been written. So much service. We've hit every state just about in the United States. We've had an incredible life. And so it goes from you're crazy to now, oh wow, what you guys are doing is just so grand and so whatever. But knowing that it can go back to you're crazy, you just say, oh, that's nice. And you just keep going because you don't let the praise take you where you wouldn't let the pull down take you. You have to just keep your balance. And that's where it comes, where it's like, I'm not apologizing for any, this is my life. This is how I choose to live it. This is what we're doing. And the evidence is in the fruit. So when you look from 9 years, we've never been homeless. We never, been hungry. We've been in the most incredible places that you could ever think of. If we would have stayed in our comfort zone, there would have been so much world, so many people that we would have never even encountered. And maybe we wouldn't even be talking because I'd be safe in my cushy little place somewhere. So that for me was the breaking point, because the day I had to tell my mom, okay, mom, this is my journey. Of course you don't understand. You're not supposed to understand. You may never understand. And mom, it's okay, because you have to trust that what you put in me is not only blooming, but it's soaring. So you know what seeds you put in me. These seeds are growing, maybe not the way that you thought they were going to grow, but trust, they're growing. And that's how I became the woman that I am today.
Damn. All right. So first of all, I have to highlight, I will not let praise take me where I was not prepared to let pull down take me. Oh, can we just let that sink in, ladies? Can we just let that sink in? Because the amount of women that I see giving up on their dreams because they're not receiving public applause is devastating. You don't do it for the applause, because everything is transitional. Your success today is your failure tomorrow, and your failure tomorrow is the success of the next day. Nothing is permanent, and we need to become humble in our calling, humble in our power, and understanding that we are not dead, we are not done, which means we have to continue evolving, and life will create the conditions for us. So praise to that. The other thing that I picked up was they lost their minds. One of the things that I have learned is that those are one of the greatest compliments that we can receive from, with respect and love, ordinary people, because there is the small mind, the ego mind, the human mind that is wants to play safe in terms of staying with the status quo, staying with the tribe, staying with the known. Everything must be figured out first before we take action. It's the small mind, and we have to lose the small mind in order for us to tap into the great mind, the genius mind, the mind of our inner being, of consciousness, of God's source, of whatever you want to call that. We do not tap into that as long as we are operating from the small mind. So when people say you're losing your mind, it normally means that you are losing your conditioned small mind, and you can now actually tap into your genius mind.
Yes.
Wanted to highlight that because I know a lot of women who are listening to this are continuously told by well-meaning people, don't do this, it is crazy, da 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 da. Honey, as long as you're operating from your small mind, you will not tap into your genius mind. And now I can understand your passion about comfort zone. But there's an evolution to that for me, and there is another side of that I am starting to appreciate even more. And that is because when we tell people to stop being in their comfort zone, a lot of the time, what people are encouraged to do is to operate from fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Which is how we got to a certain space in consciousness. But I believe that we have evolved beyond that. That the comfort zone, well, we could actually stop having the comfort zone conversation. And here's how. When we calibrate first to our desire, when we calibrate to the frequency of what it is we desire, and we then take aligned action, we actually are not afraid anymore. And it absolutely does feel comfortable. There's no more nerves that needs to be felt in order for something to be significant. But I believe that this consciousness evolution is post-pandemic. I believe the pandemic created a huge shift in consciousness. Like
for sure.
And so everything that was pre that, either people are carrying that forward because they chose to continue that way of life, or
that's right.
We are having such radical different experiences now that we can almost not relate. And look, I used to do the feel the fear and do it anyway. I was on the bandwagon. It was my motto in life: no pain, no gain. Like I was the poster child for all of those things. And so I have a lot of compassion for that, and I have a lot of appreciation for that. And now I know difference. Now I go, no. There's more gain without pain, because when we don't have the pain, we don't have the resistance, and the gain is faster, easier, and more pleasurable.
I like that.
Absolutely can live comfortably and expand consciously and intentionally grow and calibrate to desire. It gets to be fun. It gets to be easy. It gets to be not as hard as what we used to think it is. And you would have loved this, because yesterday in the soiree, we were talking about, the personal development industry and the healing industry. And one of the ladies were going, why are people so resistant to going in and doing the work? And I said, because have you listened to the narrative of healing and personal development? When you listen to the people talk about it, it's like, oh my God, it's so hard. It's so painful. It's tears. It's heartache. It's like, I wouldn't want to do it either if that was my belief of, and they really believe it has to be hard and it has to be painful.
Yeah.
So they create that reality for themselves instead of going, oh, hell no, this can be fun. This can be
absolutely
easy. This can be playful. We get to have a sense of humor. We get to surround ourselves with people who are our dearest friends, and we just all play together. And it doesn't mean we don't cry. It doesn't mean we don't fall. We absolutely open to the human experience. But I feel the society is so ripe for new conversations, including the one we started with, right? And so
yes. And I have to circle back before we go forward to just say what you were saying about, just coming out of the comfort zone and everything. I recently got a hold to this mantra and I've been doing it, and it has just been amazing. It's three little short sayings, and it's let it come, let it be, let it go. And that just goes across the board. So instead of having that resistance, right, you just let it come instead of fighting it, because it's coming anyway. So it can come easy or it can come hard. So just let it come. Then sit with it instead of trying to hurry up and shake it off, or try to, put in denial, or just whatever. Sit with it for a minute. Just sit with it and then say, okay, and then let it go, and then let it go. There may be still some things to do, but you faced it. You faced it, so it's no longer a giant. It's no longer like a monster or anything. Comfort, I'm a big person on words. So what you were saying about, just coming out of the comfort zone and that comfort space, everything that I've done in life, and I've taken some incredible leaps, right? But there's a peace. So it doesn't mean that there's no butterflies. It doesn't mean that my mind is saying, oh, this might be it. It's like, you got to hush right now, because we got to get to the other side. And for me, this is the question. When I get to anything that's scary, when I get to anything that pushes me that I must do, I know I must do it. Do I want to stay where I'm at and wonder about it? Or do I want to go for it? And even if I have to stand up and go for it again, but at least go for it. It's like, do you want to stay where you're at, or do you want to see what's behind, door number 3, right? You you're never going to know if you don't go for it. You can sit here and let your mind just take you into all kind of places, but at some point there must be action. And that was one of the things that we talked about. And I think that is one of the things that is a thread between us, because we are both women of action. It's just like action. We've just started. I mean, we talked just maybe 2 weeks ago. We're here now. I've been to a soiree. It's just come on, let's go. Not like, let's talk about this for 6 months and then let me circle back. No, let's go. Hey, you want to write an article? Let's go. Here you go. Let's go. And I think that that's a part of the shift. I think for so long, pre-pandemic, people have just been sitting on the ledge, looking at the thing that they want to have, looking at the life that they want to live through the lives of other people that's living that life. And then when it's shut down, you got that world reset, people start coming off the ledge. Yeah. People start coming off the ledge and going for it. And I think that that's a part of our shift.
I also want to just highlight here, because I think that sometimes we lose the appreciation of really not everybody is like us. And that took me a long time to understand. For the most part, I would go, come on, people, let's go, let's play. And took me a long time to discover my joy is somebody else's nightmare. Like they just, but it's about recognizing who you are, ignoring everybody else and allowing them to have their experience. But once you recognize yourself as a player, you cannot be a spectator. And this is in everything. We went up to the mountains a couple of weeks ago, and my partner and the kids were snowboarding. And I've never snowboarded. I've never skied or anything. I've never been in the snow before. And so I was just going to go and do what I call bum boarding. You get on a tube and you just slide on your bum to the bottom. And I love that. And during break time, I said to my partner, I have to learn how to do this. I have to learn how to ski, because I am not a spectator. I can't stand standing on the side watching everybody else participating. even though most other spectators were there for the whole day and they were very happy sitting watching or sitting in the cafe. And I recognized, no, that's really their happy place. It is not my happy place. And once you recognize yourself as a player recognizes player, right? Once you recognize yourself as a player, sitting on the sideline is bullshit. There's no other way to say it. That is cowardice. That is cowardice when you are sitting on the sideline and you are not here to be a spectator. And the universe bless all those souls who are here to spectate, who are here to criticize, who are here to sling mud, who are here. But the players, and we are still in the minority. If you were born to come and play, now is the time for you to get onto the field and play. And here's the thing that I want people to hear from us as well. When you are a player, you don't expect to be on the field without a speck of mud. You expect to fall you in your face, to get up, to be messy, to be dirty, to hurt sometimes, to laugh sometimes. And the other players will never ridicule you. The true players will never keep you down, because players love players. And if you just have the brass ovaries to get onto the field with the right players, they will have your back. But if you are getting onto the field with people who are from a space of ego, of I have to win so that others can lose, then they will trample you. They will demoralize you. They will make you feel insignificant. They will make you feel insecure about, like, if somebody makes you feel insecure about yourself, you're on the wrong field.
Come on.
Go play with the players.
That's right.
Go play with the players.
Yeah. I love that. I love players recognize players. I love that. And I think that that's one of the things in you and me, because I'm going to hit you with a bam. When I meet people, my network is wide. My network is wide because of my experience and because of my journey. Like I said, we've been to every state. I do not go into any space and just sit. When I came to the first soiree, it's like, come on, we're about to dance. I jumped up, let's go. It's not like I'm gonna watch them, like, what are they doing? No, let's go. If I go into a space and there's work to be done and my gift can do that work, then bam, I'm up. I am doing it, because I feel like you take every opportunity to do what you're supposed to do. My thing is, sometimes, girl, learn to sit. You got to sit down, and I know how to do it, but I have to be very intentional in my, like, take my rest, take my pause. But if I'm out there on the playing field, I'm playing. And if I don't know the game, then I'm helping. I'm passing out some water. Let's go. Let's go. You need something. I know someone. Here you go. Here's the connection. I saw that in you. I saw that in you from the very start. And that is how you see your reflection in others, how you see yourself mirrored in others that have, just similar souls, similar vibes, similar, just where you can just connect. Your flow goes together. What I have learned is, it is not my responsibility, nor is it my life mission or purpose to fix anyone or cheer for someone that wants to sit down. You cheer and then they fall down. You cheered and then they fall down. You got about 2 of those with me. And then it's like, you know what? I'm going to be here when you're ready, catch up with me, or, catch up with someone else. But that is one of the dangers of being a player. That is one of the dangers of being a person of action, just kind of trying to pull you. If someone wants to sit, that's not me. No judgment, mostly. Like you said before, we started, hey, we all judge, and that is real talk. But mostly, and I try to keep it in check. But here we go. I'm not going to keep circling back. because I have things that I need to do. And I have legacies that I'm building. I have children and grandchildren, and they're watching me, and I'm watching them just doing it big. And they say, because Nana, you do it, or Mom, you do it. So I have to go. And if you want to play, let's play. If you want to sit, then that's cool too. But I'm looking for someone to play.
I only work with mountaineers. So for me, at the end of the day, I am not here to carry anybody. I'm not here to put anybody on my shoulders. I am not here to even help anybody. I am here to co-create wins. You win, I win. We all win.
Yes.
But when we are co-creating wins, we co-create with our equals. And I do believe that everybody is equal and different. But until you are willing to recognize yourself as my equal, if you want to put me on a pedestal, if you want to put me below you, if you want to put me anywhere else than beside you, then we cannot play together. I don't want to play with you. But when you can start recognizing yourself as my equal and me as your equal, and now we go, we are two powerful women on powerful missions, and we all have our own individual genius gifts. And we are here to interdependently weave a tapestry of magnificence in the consciousness of humanity. And when we start understanding that and start playing nicely together and funnily together, that's when we co-create all the wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
But humanity has got to get over the freaking hierarchy of power illusion, because it's an illusion. We are all equal and different. And until we start narrating a better story for us, oh man, the suffering will continue. And the suffering is so unnecessary at this time. It's no longer necessary. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's like, like, what?
It's like, why are we doing this? You're so right. And you circle back. So when you were talking, something just dinged. I got this ding. It's like, okay, Diane, but you got to say this part. You have to say this part, because this part is you. And what that part is as I came up, as the woman that you see in front of you, as I came up, there were hands that were pulling me up. There were hands that were saying, come on, girl. When as a youngster, there were people that were mentoring. There were people that were giving back. There were people that were pouring back into. So that is like in my DNA. So if I go somewhere and I don't know what to do, I set, and then I say, how can I serve? Then when I say, how can I serve? It's like for a cause, serve for a cause. There's so many different things that are out, just organizations and groups and all this stuff. And it's like, give me this, and we're gonna feed these people here and there and there. And I'm like, you start home, you start where you at, and you build out. And not only do you do that, so you say, well, I don't agree with that. I don't know where the money is going, and I don't know where this, and I don't know what that. Right on. If that's how you feel what you feel, right? But in a certain space, I kind of felt like, just curious, just curious of like how much of, what I'm doing here is going to, little Johnny, little person on the picture. So it is in me to just create. I say, you know what? Let's go. Let's serve. There's a need. Here you go. What do you need? Here we go. And just pour that love in. Pour the love into our children. I feel like through this whole pandemic thing, our kids were just kind of just destroyed, like emotionally, creatively. Playgrounds with yellow tape. Just look at the playground. We can walk. I want to go play on the playground. I want to, do this. We never had that growing up. Like we never witnessed, we never had a shutdown. Like we maybe wish the schools would close or whatever, but we didn't get that reality, missing graduations and things like that, right? So you see it, what are you going to do? It's sad, but what are you going to do? You do something for the children. You know what I'm saying? You get in there and you do something. You get in there and you make a difference. You go and you be the change. So I said I got to throw that in, because I was like, well, I'm not going to be circling, but a part of, I don't want to lose that part where there's that humanity part, because I am going to, if I want to see a change in the world, then I have to go hard. I can't wait on anybody else to do it. I have to go and just believe that the universe is going to put everything that I need in place. I can't tell you how many times I've had like $1 million vision with $25, but guess what? We came out on the other side and it happened. I don't know, but I said, I'm going for it. And it just started coming together and it just worked out that way. So you can't, if you're listening to us, you can't allow your ducks to keep you from flowing with whatever it is that you feel that you need to do. Because I promise you, from experience, ducks have a way of lining up in incredible ways. Some people are just waiting for you to just get in the game and take the leap, and then they're going to come. They're not going to get you off the sidelines. They're not going to get you with your little fancy plans. They got to see you with some skin in the game. So let's go.
And I thank you for taking the conversation here, because I also want to say I agree with you. None of us got to where we are on our own. This is not what I'm saying. This is a co-creative effort in a massive proportion. And one of the things that we always do at the end of the soiree call is I ask, what do you need today? What do you need from us? And don't give me fluffy stuff. I want real things. What do you need? The practical stuff. And so sometimes what I need is an introduction, but sometimes what I need is my next plate of food. So we do not judge people for where they are and what they need. And if it's within our power, we give it to them. I'm not saying be a cruel bitch that walks around and go, no, 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 no. You have to do everything on yourself. You have to prove to me that no, 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 no. What I'm saying is we are all equal and having different experiences. And when you are operating from love, you ask people, what do you need? Now, here's the really interesting thing for powerful women like us. We've not been taught, for the most part, to ask for what we need. We've not been taught to ask and graciously receive without any shyness or shame or, oh my God, does this mean that they're going to see me as weak if I ask for something practical that I need? I want to break that stereotypical thought pattern for women and start understanding that here's how manifestation works. You desire something, the universe energetically creates it and puts all the cooperative components together. And it doesn't put it all in one little basket and give you the basket and go, there you go, Elle, here's your little basket, make it happen. No, no, no. It gives Diane as a cooperative component, and Diane has something that I need in order for my manifestation to come to life. It gives another one to my partner. It gives one to a stranger on the street. It makes our lives interesting. It's like a treasure hunt, like an Easter egg hunt, your desires. Yes. And you have to be that child who unashamedly goes, Diane, do you have an egg for me? Like, I need an egg, or I need the wrapper, or I need the filling, or do you maybe have it? And Diane can go, yep, here you go, honey. Or she can go, no, I don't have that, but I have this, or I know somebody who has that. Let me make that introduction. When we start getting that piece, of course we go around all the time and go, what do you need? What do you need? Because I know that if God, the universe, puts you in my path, it's for a reason.
Yes.
I have something that you need. Now, sometimes that is my genius gift of supporting other women on a long-term basis in a private capacity. And I go, I am just here to journey with you for a while. I am your companion. And so let's work together in that capacity. Sometimes it's just literally, oh my God, I met this person last week. I think they'll be perfect for you. Have to make the introduction. So let us get over this little thing of, no, I must just be here in my little world and do whatever I am here to do. No. We are all here to play together. And when we
Yes.
start getting that and asking, hey, Diane, what do you need? Can I give
That's
it to
right.
you? Or do I know somebody? And you can learn to say, well, actually, Elle, I need this. No shame, no
Exactly.
judgment, no worry. When we can just start having those childlike conversations with each other as powerful women, oh, magic, right? Magic
Magic.
happens.
Magic. But when you ask me, I have to be brave enough to tell you. And so what I've learned, because this has been my go-to. So, hey, Diane, what do you need? I'm good, Elle. I'm good. I'm good. And could be just 3 breaths away from passing the hell out.
Yes.
I'm good.
Just
I'm good. I'm good.
vibes. Just
I'm
vibes.
good.
Oh my
I'm
God.
good over I'm good over here. And that's one thing, as we got into this discussion, see, I knew already that you are, you offer. You're a person who serves humanity. You're a person that offers your gifts, because you said, so what do you guys need? And I was just going to say, just send me some vibes, send me some. And before I could even get to that little corny line, you're like, and don't be giving me no foo-foo. I want some things. I want hardcore things, tangible things. Don't be telling me about no. I'm like, how did she know? How did she get out of my, I think I told you, like, get out of my head. Get out of my head. That's what I was going to say. And for anybody out there that's listening, I get it. I get it that, asking can be hard when you are a giver, but just understand that the flow of abundance, the flow of generosity even, is impeded when you rob someone else from the privilege to bless you. So please don't be hungry, jobless, in pain, suffering in silence, and you have a group of strong women that are just right there ready, and you're masking it. So speak up. I'm learning to. I'm not an expert yet, but I will be. I am learning to ask for what I want. And I'll just tell you this real quick. I wanted to be in a place by the beach in the upcoming months, and it came in my head, said, just ask, just ask, just ask. And and honey, I asked, and I'm getting there. It's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
I asked, and it happened. So you're just one ask away. And if you ask somebody and they don't have it, or they say no, don't just ask one time, guys.
Yeah.
You don't give just one time.
I'm also going to say this, honor the gift. Like when you ask and somebody gives, don't waste it. Don't just be a taker. And I know that there are some people that are just in taking mode. Everything that is given to you can be a stepping stone to your greatness, to your next great thing. But if we get into, and I think maybe that is why a lot of successful women don't ask, is because there's so many in the world who just ask, and then not make anything of it. A few years ago, I created a lot of free content on the internet. It's been taken down for a reason. And what I realized was people was just so used to getting all the free stuff, that then they would go to me, I want more. What else have you got for me? I want to work with you, but I don't want to pay for it. I want to work with you for free. And I would say to them, But here's the thing, everything you need is in the free content that I have created. If you had to work my free content, your life would change. Working with me will not change your life if you aren't working what I am creating for you as a gift.
Yes.
But it's as though a lot of people have just become expectant, and there's a word that I'm looking for that's not coming to me, but they just want, just give it to me because what is that word that I'm looking for?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking entitlement,
Yes,
privilege.
entitlement, right? They're becoming entitled. I don't want to invest in anything. I just want everything for free. The world owes this to me. Da 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 da. No. When somebody gifts you something, whether it's something free or something that you financially invest in to create a container of receptivity, you freaking honor it and you work it. You use every gift to enhance yourself. Don't. And that's why, and I think that a lot of the time successful women see that as the example and they think, I don't want to be perceived as that person. And I want to say to you, honey, you won't be, as long as you honor every gift that every single person gives to you and you enhance yourself through the use of the gift. That is the greatest thanks and appreciation that we can give to the person who gifts us whatever it is that we asked for. And that is what fills their cup. When I see somebody take what I'm giving them and using it to enhance their life experience, man, I can sit and have an orgasm without being touched. It's just like, hell, baby, let's go. More, please. Like I could have a lifegasmic day every day because I witness how people take what I'm gifting them and enhancing their life experience through that. And so let us ask, let us receive, and let us grow the talents that we are gifted to create an even better life experience for ourselves and therefore for everybody else.
Yes.
I'm looking at the time, my friend. And
I am too. You said it. I looked at it and just laughed. I said, well, you called it. You called it.
So
you called it.
To bring this together, two things. What do you take an unapologetic stance for in the world?
I'm going to say that I take an unapologetic stance for the first and foremost thing would probably be protecting our children. And the second thing would be protecting women that are coming up. I was a single mom for a season in my life, so I know the struggle with that. And our babies, they're here. I'm not gonna say that they didn't ask to be here. Not gonna get into that, but our babies are here. Our children are here. I feel like there's so much, when you talk about judgment, there's so much judgment towards our kids. There's so much, so many things that are just being done to our children, and people are not even bothered. If it's not my kids, if it's not then it's okay. And it is so not okay. I feel like our kids, how are they going to have hope if we're just steady judging them, if we're just steady, if they feel unsupported? I feel like we have a lot of angry children. So the way that I do it is I talk to the young, and first of all, I apologize for my generation. I'm not saying it's my whole fault, but I'm like, you know what? We kind of dropped the ball on you, and I cannot do for but I'm one person here. What can I help you to get? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to be? How can I connect you with people, resources, just things? And that's what I do. I have grandchildren. I have adult children. So I take in others. And you know what? I just see it reciprocated to them just without, because that's the natural thing of the flow. I promise that you will reap what you sow. Just do it. Don't worry about where it's going to come, how it's going to come. Just do it and it will come back. But our children, they need us. They need us. Our children need just, we love you. Just a conversation, something fun. Go take a hike, go take a walk, call them, send them a card, buy them a soda pop or just whatever. Just let them know that you see them, because I feel like they feel like we don't see them. So that's number one. And number two is just our woman, just the women who are just on the come up, women that are trying. We talked about other, but there are women that are out there and they're doing their thing. They have their kids and they are working, they are going to school to better themselves. They are, they have a plan and they got that plan in action. And what can I do? How can I help you to just come? And not me, myself, a whole tribe. You bring the tribe to that, because I'm just one woman and I'm not superwoman. I have no cape. I don't fly. And so, it's just like, so how do we do that? But for those two causes, I stand unapologetically on love. And if you want to sum it all up and just put it all in one nice little thing and tie a bow, it's relationship and community. It's relationship and community.
I think that we all know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Mm-hmm. And I think it's time for humanity to start bringing the global village together and go, your child is my child and my child is your child. How do we start raising our children? But in order for that to happen, there's a lot of grown-ups that need to grow up.
Come on.
And for those of us who do take responsibility, we have a responsibility to call them out as well and say, it's not okay. It's not okay. I get what you're going through. I get the fears. I get the scarcity mindset. I get the I don't want responsibility. This is too much. Like, I get how much people are struggling, and I am not taking anything away from that. And it's not okay. We have to start growing up, and we have to start showing up for our children, because our children have got passion that's not been tempered by life experience to have wisdom. And the choices that they are making has got long-term consequences, not only on themselves, but on humanity as a whole. And we cannot just sit by and say that we are afraid of the masses, and so we don't speak out in truth, when in fact our generation did drop the ball. I concur with that. We dropped the ball, but we're not dead yet. We're not done yet. It's time for us to pick up the ball and to carry it to the next post. So, my darling, I'm going to end it on there, because I think that that's a really powerful message for everybody to receive today, including us. Please understand, I'm on the journey with you. So with that, ladies, let us know in the comments, what is it that you are taking away from this conversation? Because there was so much today. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, live your legacy, unleashed, unlimited, and unapologetic. Have an amazing day further. Diane, I love you. Thanks, my darling.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at The Unapologetic Woman and on LinkedIn at Elle Nagy. And if you're interested in experiencing the Unapologetic Woman Friendwork Soiree, book in for our next open meeting at unapologetic-women.as.me/unapologetic. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.